Starting with the U.S. government shutdown, Senate leader Mike Thune says there are no winners in a government shutdown. There are only losers. But are there really? I do think there are some winners. The supposed losers, which everyone is up in arms about, are the 40 million Americans that are dependent on SNAP benefits, SNAP food benefits. These are the credits they can get in exchange for food. And because this support is ending, many people have made the assumption that these people who are now not getting food are just days away from rioting and looting. And I have to ask, when did we start thinking so little of each other to just jump to accusing others of rioting and looting? What does that really say about us? I think we need to have more faith in each other and look at the massive potential of 40 million Americans who are now not subscribed to this subsidized food system and could start gardening over the next few months if people are willing and supportive and not assuming that they're just going to jump to stealing. This could be completely transformative to local and organic agriculture. It could revive the concept of the community garden, which are prevalent all over the United States. It could reduce food deserts. We could start to empower each other instead of be skeptical of each other. Now, I'm not much of a gardener yet, but I wanted to connect people with resources. So here are some sites where you can find local community gardens. The first, we're looking at communitygarden.org/garden. So communitygarden.org does a really great job of having a map, and it actually will give you a list of community gardens all over the world, and you can click to dial in here. So let's go into this area. Where did I go last time? So we're going into the Durango area here, and we actually can see, even in a small, well, I don't know Durango, but I imagine it's a pretty medium-sized town. There are a lot of community gardens. There's at least 4 that you can get involved in. There's one at this elementary school, and there is this outdoor learning lab. 50 garden beds are open to the community and can be rented. There's one over here. Now, what I really liked about it, I can't get to that same location that I did earlier, but there's even people just offering free seeds that you can look into and connect with, and you can see the contact info is here. In some cases, I thought I saw a phone number, but they've got the email, they've got the website. So imagine if instead of saying, oh no, mass riots and looting, we could just point our friends and neighbors to the nearest community gardens. We could start getting involved that way. So this is, again, communitygarden.org. communitygarden.org/garden is where you can see this map, and they have many community gardens. You can also put your garden on the map, which I definitely recommend. Now, this is another article which I'll post in the show notes here from millennialcities.com, which has a list of many different maps, more specific to a particular state or a city. So there's maps for Seattle itself. There's a map for Denver. There is a map of Vermont. Look at all these gardens. And you're telling me that we're going to have rioting? Not if we educate people. Washington, North Carolina, Houston, New York City, Austin, all of these places, there are community gardens. So again, that's millennialcities.com, where you can get involved with a local community garden. And I hope you engage with your neighbors, especially those that you might think are at risk of losing their SNAP benefits, or actually see where they are at. Now, the Trump administration did say they were going to provide a baseline of these SNAP benefits, so it's not like these people are going to starve, which is better than nothing. And also, we need to work towards helping each other be more self-sustainable. This just isn't for, it's not like we can sit on a high horse and say, hey, at least we have money for food, we're not relying on welfare. No, this is going to affect everyone, because without hungry neighbors, with hungry neighbors, things could get worse, or they can get better, or we could put our energy to good use. This is another website that I'm really excited about to find free seeds. So this website is called freeheirloomseeds.org, and I really like it because there's ways to receive free seeds, and they'll send it by U.S. mail. I think in the very least case, you have to pay for postage, right? Please keep in mind we have provide. Yes. So they have very little resources to provide postage for these seeds, and donate if you can. I'm thinking I'm going to reach out to them and send them a donation so that they can pay to send seeds out for people who actually need them and can't pay for postage. I think that would be a nice gesture. But you can receive seeds with a donation or without a donation. And also, Here's a free seed list. Like, guys, check it out. It goes from A to Z, starting from Asian greens to amaranth, to anise, to basil. A lot of these are really rare, so it's really impressive what they have managed to pick, and all the information they have. Like, look, it just goes. What is there a seed that even starts with Z? There's zinnias, I know. Well, sunflower, squash, wheat. Look, they even have wheat. They give you a teaspoon or 100 seeds per request. They tell you how many seeds you'll get per request. Look at this. This is amazing. This is a free resource with a minimal donation or paying for postage, which is like $4. So why are we sitting around and saying that we're going to go riot? Like, that's ridiculous. I think we can do better. So you can choose the way this government shutdown affects you. You have the power. You are the seed of potential to be positive for those around you. You can either suspect that they're going to start rioting, looting, and think lesser of your fellow human being, or you can engage with them who don't necessarily have the same blessings as you, but we can make it happen, right? We have just as much of a say at what happens in this world as the next person. So you get to choose. And if you do ignore the situation, which is fine, you can do that. You can sit on your high horse and say, oh no, the breakdown in society. Well, you can bet that there are groups that are trying to sow discord, conflict, and general unrest. And hey, maybe we'll want people to riot and cause these situations which can lead to martial law or police on the streets. These are things we're seeing already. So you get to decide, my friends. This is our time to shine. So the homework for today, yes, that's right, TBOT homework. You thought you could escape school? Hell nah, life is school. So the homework is to get connected to your local community garden and resources, and to let us know about it on our Telegram channel. Yes, if you haven't already started following our Telegram channel, here it is. It's Take Back Our Tech, all one word, on Telegram, or you could search, will show up. We have 7,000 subscribers, and there is actually a discussion channel too. This is our chat, the TBOT chat. It's a Take Back Our Tech _chat. I should probably get a better name for it. But this is where you can share your homework, which is to get connected with your local community garden and give a status update of your local community garden, people you met, if you're able to score some free seeds, and if you talk to anyone in your community about this very important issue. I want to shout out the Take Back Our Tech community for providing another little bright side to this government shutdown. Yes, there's bright sides. So we performed our first decentralized analysis recently when I noticed a few weeks ago that my skies were clear. For the first time ever, they weren't hazy. There weren't these weird trails that spread out all over the sky and block out the sun. And so I decided to get curious and ask people in our group to send pictures of their skies wherever they were at. And so here are some pictures of skies across America during a government shutdown. This one, I don't know where it is. I do think you can see one chemtrail in there, but generally all pretty clear. But in most places, here is Ashland, Oregon. This is actually a friend of the channel's, Dr. Nick from Essential Oil Wizardry. If you want awesome essential oil products, go and check them out, essentialoilwizardry.com, or just search them up. But look at this. This is his beautiful farm in Oregon. Look how clear that sky is. It really couldn't be clearer. And this is where he grows some of his herbs there. This is in western Wisconsin. It's still cloudy, but these are not chemtrail clouds. This is natural skies. So that's in western Wisconsin. And then here is the beach in Stuart, Florida, which with a friend of ours as well, who we're going to be playing some music from later on. So it's clear skies everywhere, mostly everywhere. And I've also heard no chemtrails over eastern Pennsylvania, in southwestern Tennessee, New Jersey. It seems like it's everywhere. However, it is not completely free of chemtrails. It seems like the chemtrail program is on a bare budget, and I even saw chemtrails one week in my town, followed by heavy rain on the weekends. So it seems like they're on a bare budget, and there are little programs here and there, but generally the whole thing has been diminished. There's clear skies, and that's really crazy to think about, that in the government's budget, somewhere in there, there's a line line item where they spend, I mean, guys, there's you know, you see these things like 9 hours a day flying around. Imagine the jet fuel and imagine all the resources that our tax dollars go towards. It's crazy that there's some amount in there, probably tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, going towards this stuff, and it takes a government shutdown for it to stop, where we get natural weather back, where we get beautiful weather. And so I have to thank the TBOT crew again. Join this community, go to Telegram and search for Take Back Our Tech, join our discussion group, and we'll put our link in the description. And thank you to everyone in there who provided these pictures. I would like to do more decentralized investigations, and I think this is the way, crowdsourcing this information to really know what things are like, to get true information about the world. While we are on this note in looking at these blue skies, I've been traveling over the past few weeks, and many of you know that TSA in the US, which is the Transportation Security Administration, you know, they're the guys who fondle you as you go through the airports to check you for knives and stuff. They are unhappy. You know, I could really feel their grumbling, and I feel sorry for them in some ways, but also knowing and talking to them, they're not getting paid. They're getting deferred payments because of the government shutdown, and many of them are calling in sick, which is causing extreme delays of flights throughout the country. Like, many of them are just not showing up. So I just wanted to use this as an example of how fragile these systems are. It's just a paycheck or two away from falling apart, these surveillance and digital ID systems. So this is why it's so important to build these in-person community networks and to withhold your support from these tyrannical, oppressive systems, and put your effort and attention and energy into building new, better systems, my friends. And it's very hopeful. We don't have all the answers yet, but don't worry, we don't need to. You know, the average age is 80 years old, so I would say until you're about 40 or 50, you really don't have any idea of what you're doing. But the good news is the authority is inside you. You can make an impact. It's however you want to interact and engage, what feels right to you. So be selfish and figure things out for yourself. You'll be helping everyone else too, my friends. And later on, we're gonna be hearing some music from Casey Turner called Fine Hawaiian Day.